Got one here from Lee in East Ham. He says, I know you're a big Bernard Hopkins fan, Bunce, but can you tell me a bit about Carlos Monzon, the Argentinian? How good was he? I'm too young to remember him. Well, let me tell you something. First of all, Lee, I might be a Bernard Hopkins fan. I might have liked Mike Tyson at his peak, and I love Nassim Hamid, okay? But let me tell you something. I am an enormous Carlos Monzon fan. I've tried several times in the last 10 years to get somebody to pay me to go out and write a book about Monzon. I've tried to get there to make a film. I've tried to do everything about Carlos Monzon. He was a giant on both sides of the ring, controversial on both sides of the ropes, rather. Died in 1995 when he was on leave from prison. Basically, he was in prison because, well, he killed his girlfriend, pushed her off a balcony. That's probably what he did, although I think it's been cleared of killing her, but it was whatever. Accidental death. Anyway, the bottom line is it was bloody, and he wasn't a particularly nice man, but he was a genius fighter, a genius in the ring. That was in 1995 when he died. He fought for a long, long time. His last fight was in 1977, which was a rematch against Rodrigo Valdez for a few of the world middleweight titles. Yeah, they were even split then in 1977, and he won that one, but it was tight. He'd previously beaten Valdez a little bit easier, and he was actually on the floor in the second round in that particular fight, having won comfortably. It was quite close. This fight was in Monaco. He fought in Monaco and France quite a lot, to be perfectly honest with you. Beating Benny Briscoe, Jean-Claude Boutier. I think he beat Boutier twice. Certainly Tony Mundine, of course, is the father of Anthony Mundine. And Emil Griffiths, and his fight against Jose Napoles was staggering. It was great. I know Napoles was coming up from welterweight, but they did that back then. When he won the title, he won it in Rome, I think, against Nino Benvenuti, which, if I remember rightly, was the ring fight of the year in about 1970. I think he only made, I should get Box Rec up and have a look at this. I think he only made 14 defences, or 15 or 6, or 14, hold on one second, 14 defences, just counted. He also beat Gretchen Tonner. And just phenomenal victories against the best. I love them. I'd love to see him now. That's a little bit of a Carlos Monzon. Maybe do a bigger tribute one day. 100 fights he ended up having, 80, 71, 59 stoppages, 3 defeats, never by stoppage. You're joking, aren't you? And 9 draws. Now it's time for the stars of tomorrow, the top amateurs, the men and women who will be part of the 2012 team and the 2016 team and the 2020 team, to be honest with you. It's just about to take off. The divs are near. The junior championships are kicking on. It's time for the Boddy man, Ron Boddy, to cast his eyes across the talent. Rombo.
How are you, Steve?
You're a Carlos Monzon fan, weren't you?
You're a massive Carlos Monzon fan.
I know, son,
he made boxing look easy.
He did, mate. You know what? He was, you know that expression, peerless. He was. Peerless.
Yeah, he was ultra special. He did something. He did something that no other fighter's ever done. He let the opponent do what the opponent wanted to do. You know, they always say impose yourself on the opponent and all of that. He did exactly the opposite. If you wanted to come forward, he let you come forward. If you wanted to go back, he came after you. And the clever thing that he did was that he punched straight and threw uppercuts. He didn't slip punches, he didn't do side steps, but he hit you for 3 minutes of every round.
Big, long, jarring, judding punches, man.
And he did it in a rhythm, so that he wasn't hitting hard, say, the first
Strange
4 or 5
rhythm.
rounds.
You know,
exactly.
He sort of build, wouldn't he? Yeah.
And then as soon as you're knackered, then he starts unloading and belts you. He ruined fighters. He ruined Tony Licata. He ruined Jose Napoles.
Yeah, I know he did. Yeah, I know Napoles was getting on, but he still ruined him and was giving away a bit. And, you know, I tell you what, people will say to me, "Oh, don't you wish you were at this fight or at that fight?" And I say, "Oh, you know, there's loads of things. I wish I'd been at X, Y, and Z fight, but I wish I'd have been on one of those Monte Carlo trips to watch Monzon."
Yeah.
Because imagine if Bernard Hopkins was fighting in Monte Carlo against the best in the world. I'd swim there, and I'm a good swimmer. Anyway, Ronnie, I'd love to talk non-stop about Carlos Monzon. What you got for me?